As far as our team, I feel like we're starting over, right? Like, why? We got a whole new ballpark. We have 22 first-year players, 22. It's crazy. I've never experienced anything like this in my life. We have lost our 2 starting catchers, our first baseman, our second baseman, our shortstop, our third baseman, our left fielder, our center fielder, our Friday night starter, our Sunday starter, and our closer. Other than that, we're good. We got everybody back. So, man, I tell you what I've loved about our team is we may be inexperienced, but this team has been high trust and low maintenance. They have been just a joy to coach. And yeah, we may not have as much experience, but man, I can tell you I love our team. I love our team. And some of you might be scratching your head going, man, that's a lot of positions and people to replace. I love our team, and this team has done everything we've asked. A couple thoughts maybe on pitching. Some things that maybe we want to do is we want to be more efficient. We've kind of talked to our guys about being more efficient, trying to get at-bats over as quick as possible, trying to finish counts, trying to be more of an attacking type pitching staff. Defensively, we want to become an elite defensive team. What do we have to do? Last year in our 30 SEC games, we've got to get 7 errors better. If we improve by 7 errors, we'll lead the SEC in fielding percentage. So we're trying to become an elite defensive team. And then offensively, this is crazy, but this is probably the craziest stat I'll give you today. But we've lost 75% of our offensive production in basically almost every offensive category, 75%. So as you can imagine, as I go around the field, there's a lot of replacing. And we returned 2 guys that have over 100 at-bats. So as far as some pitchers, I'll start with, you mentioned some guys. It starts with Zach Thompson. Those of you know he's been pitching for us. This will be his 3rd year. Had an amazing summer. He had the opportunity to go with the USA Collegiate National Team and not only pitch for our country, but to continue to learn and grow. Had an awesome summer through 8 2/3 innings, did not allow a run. Every part of his game is better. Every part of his game. Mentally, physically, the way he acts behaviorally, technically, all of his pitches are improved, and he'll throw on Friday nights for us. First preseason, first-team All-American. Jimmy Ramsey, Mason Hazelwood, Daniel Harper, and Carson Coleman all pitched for us a year ago. They're all back and improved in their own ways. So it's been fun to watch their development. You guys, you know this, but it's amazing what a year makes. It is an absolute amazing. From the way they carry themselves to the job Coach Bellinger's helped them with, developing their stuff, it's all better. So excited about those guys and to help lead our pitching staff. As far as positionally, TJ Collette is a guy who was on his way to just an amazing year last year. You know, he had the double-digit home runs, and then he has a season-ending injury to where he couldn't finish. He had another surgery this fall, but he is as healthy, as strong as he's ever been. In a lot of ways, he's helping run our team. So you guys all know this, but some of you that were at our games last year when you saw those children that either had cancer or recovered from cancer from the Children's Hospital, TJ was in large part responsible for helping get those kids there through the UK Children's Hospital and the Jesse Reese Foundation and the Never Ever Give Up. And man, he's an amazing human being. He came up to me at the beginning of the semester and said, Coach, I already got 18 kids lined up and families to come to our games. So he's just, Ryan Shin is a guy who, if you said to me, who had the breakout fall, who is the guy that maybe from a year ago has just made just a huge jump. It's Ryan Shin. He's led our team in home runs in the fall. He's picked up right where he left off this spring. He's much improved. Alex Rodriguez is another guy. I think he would tell you a year ago he was kind of tiptoeing, and he wasn't ready to just jump in. He's jumped all in, and his game has improved in every area. Cam Hill played for us early on. His first year ended up getting hurt. He ended up having a red shirt. He's made huge strides. And then Colton Kessler and Marshall Gee are 2 guys behind the plate that have really kind of stepped up and taken that role there. So 3 JUCO guys to mention when you got to replace that many positional players. Jaron Shelby, as a lot of you know, was the Gatorade Player of the Year here. He spent 2 years down in Florida at a JUCO. He's back with us. He missed this fall with a hand injury that he sustained this summer. But Dalton Reed's a left-hand hitting, first baseman, third baseman type guy who was a junior college, led to home runs, junior college and home runs 2 years ago. And then Braden Daniel is another junior college transfer. Those 3 guys are basically all-American type guys.
What is Zach Thomas going to bring to your Friday night starting role?
Well, number one, our team is extremely confident. The second he steps on the mound, he brings an edge He brings a competitiveness. He brings a toughness. And our team will immediately be confident just because of his track record and how competitive he is. So he also gives us a chance to win on every Friday night, and as all of you know, in a 3-game series, that's a big deal. If you can win that first game, it can set you up to do a lot of things. And but the biggest things would be the confidence that our players and coaches have on him, and that can go a long way, especially in our sport.
Can you talk about the Saturday and Sunday guys, some of them who may be competing for those spots and what they bring to the table?
So really, it's almost like a 4 or 5 headed race from that standpoint between Jimmy Ramsey and Mason Hazelwood and Daniel Harper. The freshman Dylan Marsh is throwing the ball extremely well. They're all so different, which I love. When I think about our pitching staff, I want them all to be different in their own ways. I want them all to be different. And Jimmy Ramsey, you guys remember his physical presence. He's grown 2 more inches since he's been in college. I didn't even know that was possible. I mean, he's 6'9" now, and his body looks different. And the way his fastball and arm slot moves and where he stands on the rubber is totally different than the left-handed Mason Hazelwood, who's on the other side of the rubber, and he's 6'6", and the ball's coming out of a totally different window, right? And then Daniel Harper, who has just made huge strides with his body. Guys, this is a guy that's like committed Daniel Harper to his body. He food logs. This is a guy that's missed 1 day. He's documented everything he's eaten for a year, except on Christmas. He took that off. Every single day he's food logged. Like, I mean, he's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger. There's been a freshman, Dylan Marsh, just throwing the ball well. So, you know, those aren't sad. Zach has clearly earned that Friday spot, and we'll get through this weekend and we'll see. But early on with their pitch counts, they're not going to throw 7, 8 innings anyway. So really, you almost need to kind of tag team them and double team them. But those are some of the guys fighting for those spots.
Do you feel any more pressure or any more of it being a challenge to do as well or better than you have done?
Well, I'll tell you what, that's why I wanted to be a head coach in this league. And I've been in this league for I don't know how many years now. Is it 13, 14 years? It's the premier conference, and that's all I've ever wanted to do is play against the best teams in the country. Are you saying you notice I have a few more gray hairs? Is that what I'm hearing? Well, yeah, you don't have any hair. It's the pressure. No, I've always said our internal expectations would be higher than any external. I want to win a national championship, and I finished 5th in this league and played for a national championship. That's totally possible. There's been a team that's finished 5th in the league and has won a national championship. So the competition is something we'll definitely embrace.
Coach, that first year, you came in with high expectations for you, but maybe not so much for the team. The team was like, didn't know what they were going to do, and you knocked it out of the park, so to speak. Last year, there were very high expectations for the team, and it didn't come to fruition. What have you learned over the 2 years, and what is this team going to? What do you take from that?
So what I've learned is that regardless of the year, I want our goals to be our goals. And unfortunately, not every year you're going to hit those. But what I've learned about this team as it relates to those is there's a ton of competition. There's a edge about them to where it's like, obviously we're not happy with maybe our finish a year ago, but at the same time, they have totally embraced everything that we're trying to do. And we got to prove some people wrong this year, because with basically a whole new team, 22 first-year players, right? We have 24 guys that have never even stepped on a field for us before. There's a lot to prove, and they have a chip on the edge about them, and that we're going to do that.